Morning, everybody. I had quite a intense day yesterday, dealing with some crazy thoughts, and it all started with a friend of mine who drove through town, and I live in King Williamstown, and King Williamstown, at the moment, yeah, is being neglected um, on a infrastructure level. And he just mentioned the fact that driving through town made him sad. He grew up here, so he looked at the buildings and he looked at the roads and he looked at the places that were familiar to him. And he mentioned on social media that it made him sad. And a lot of people, um, yeah, actually started attacking him because of this. And I just felt that I need to stand up for him. I need to tell him that what he's saying is truth. It's real. It's what it is. Um, that we can't live in a fantasy world thinking that everything is okay, or saying that this is our new normal, that we're going to accept it. And it just made me think about self-talk yesterday as well. The amount of time I spent yesterday going through conversations that were had, and how I should have responded, or how I could have responded differently. And I spent a lot of time in my head yesterday having these little conversations. Um, and the strange thing is that even though I had these conversations, I never really went back to social media and addressed them as I thought I should have. Um, I think it also adds to other areas of our life. How we talk to ourselves regarding the trials and tribulations that we face. And I don't know if you like me, but when things really go rough and or bad, there's a lot of self-talk that happens inside myself. And a lot of times I try and motivate myself. I try and tell myself, just get up, just do it, just carry on. You can do it. I remember doing an endurance cycle race the once, and it was 361 k's that you're supposed to finish in 36 hours. And at the stage here, by about 300 k's, yes, my legs couldn't do it anymore, and I felt tired, I felt depleted, and every time I got onto the bike after a rest, I had to I had to really, really encourage myself. And encouraging myself was just to actually take the next step. It was just to keep on pedaling. And strangely enough, when my body got into the motion of doing things, my mind started settling down as well. And what a great achievement it was for me to eventually finish the race and say that I've completed it. Um, so very often in our greatest adversities comes our greatest strength. And the strength doesn't come from anywhere else but the way we think about things, and also the way we communicate. Yesterday, somewhere along the line, somebody also mentioned the fact communication is key. And communication is key. It's key to understanding yourself. It's key to motivating yourself. It's key to knowing what you want. And I think a lot of people use social media to to voice um, their opinion, to voice their way of looking at things, their emotional connection to things, and it is just another form of self-communication. A lot of people put motivational little messages on, um, inspirational quotes, but I think instead of thinking that it is for somebody else, most likely, and 99% of the time, it's something that you need to hear, it's something that you need to read, it's something that you need to get a grip of. And yeah, my question today is, what are you telling yourself? What is your need? What aren't you hearing? How are you misunderstanding yourself? Because I think a lot of our anger and our sadness, like I said before, comes from being misunderstood and not being able to communicate our needs and our feelings properly. And that leaves us with frustration and sadness. And yeah, if we learn how to talk in the right manner to ourselves, then I think the result would be a bit different. It would be not necessarily what we envision it to be, but it would be different. We won't feel stuck. We won't feel that we're not moving forward, stagnant in life. And once again, yeah, for me, yo, I've had a lot of time to spend with me in my head. And I think a lot of you do too. Or maybe not. Yeah, that's the crazy part, actually. Maybe not. Maybe you're so busy that you haven't heard what you are saying to yourself lately. You haven't heard how you communicate to yourself. And then when things don't work out and things go a bit haywire, you ask yourself why. But it's the programming that you've been programming yourself with for maybe a couple of weeks or a couple of months or a couple of years or a couple of days. And maybe it's time to change the dialogue. Maybe it's time to change the way you speak to yourself. And yeah, sorry, man, some strange stuff happening in my chest. The only way to change that is to actually silently go and sit and have a conversation with yourself. Have a serious conversation with yourself. It's people call it goal setting, wada wada wada. Oh, but I talk to myself in my head, and I listen. I'm not totally insane, and sometimes I do. When it really gets frustrating, I do verbalize it, like comes out of my mouth. But you need to spend time with yourself. You need to talk to yourself. You need to encourage yourself. You need to motivate yourself. You need to speak words of love, of compassion over yourself. And yeah, it's understanding yourself. Because if you understand yourself, I think it's easier to communicate what it is you need to communicate to others. And they are more likely to hear what you're saying because you already understand what you need to say. It's when I read like yesterday, if I didn't prepare the little reading part, very often my eyes work so fast that I skip words and then the sentence comes out totally wrong and then I have to reread it. So, sorry guys, in your preparation for your day, you need to stand there in front of the mirror and you need to talk to yourself. You need to say and express exactly what it is you expect from the day and how you're gonna go about doing that, because it's not a thinking process. It's not a it's not a noughts and ones programming that happens here. It's something that you can do. You can have a conversation with yourself and you can be okay with that, and you can actually gain a better perspective of what is going on up here. And some people write it down. Some people need to physically see that conversation. For me, yeah, I'm quite okay just keeping it in my head. Most of the things I do, even my woodwork, most people work from plans. I must suck it out of the thumb, and it's the same here with most of the videos I do. I don't go and sit at night thinking about, yes, I need to communicate this, I need to say this, I come here in the morning, I speak, and whatever comes out of my mouth, whatever comes out of my head, that is what is ingrained in my heart, I think. So, yeah, let your voices be heard today, even if it's just you listening to you. But don't be afraid to be loud. Don't be afraid to communicate, and don't be afraid of your thoughts. I think once one arrests certain thoughts, then it becomes null and void. I think about depression. I suffer from depression, and if I have negative thoughts about life, as soon as I voice them, they go. They lose energy. So one needs to one needs to one needs to energetically talk about things, and it starts with yourself. It starts with what you say to yourself, how you say it to yourself, and do you believe in what you're saying? And then only will people around you start to understand who and what you are. So yes, once again today, go and be an extraordinary human being. Go and change the world. Go and do whatever it needs to make the world a better place for you. Because if you make it a better place for you, you're making it a better place for me. So yes, have a great day. Speak to you tomorrow. Cheers.